Hey, Rye, you know that this year Gramps is on the Marquee Sports Network?
Yeah?
Do you know that he's in a trivia contest against Mark Grace?
No.
Who do you think's going to win?
You.
Why do you think I'm going to win the trivia contest?
Because Marquee didn't even know that the batting cage is on.
Chicago Cub fans, they remember Rick Sutcliffe as the 1984 Cy Young Award winner. Wow. When they asked me about Rick Sutcliffe, I think, did I remember to take out the trash?
Hey, welcome to Play at Home Trivia. And as you can see with Mark Grace, Rick Sutcliffe, grand entrance, a couple of shy guys, former Cubs talking trash. Before we even begin, Play at Home Trivia.
Hi, guys.
Presented by Miller Lite. And look, they're ready to go. I haven't even introduced. Let me really quick just say we have Mark Grace, 16-year Major League veteran, 13 with the Cubs, 3-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove. You'll see him on Marquee Sports Network.
Grace sends a drive. That ball game is over.
Nice straight play by Grace.
Cubs win. Mark Grace came through.
Rick Sutcliffe, 18-year career, 8 with the Cubs, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, 3-time All-Star.
Sutcliffe.
Hey, struck him out. The Cubs are the champion.
You guys have already started the challenge here. So who's? I know you were once teammates. You're both. We gotta bring it out of you in this show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So, Grace, I'll start with you. Who's the favorite in this showdown?
No, there's no question. Well, first of all, in order to be successful in trivia, I think you have to be able to read, and I'm not sure Rick knows how to read. So I think it's advantage Grace.
Well, Chris, I broke my rule of thumb here by doing this show. I normally don't go on TV with anybody better looking than me. And I remember one time I was interviewing Mike Piazza, and I told him that, and Mike Piazza just straight looked at me on ESPN. He goes, "Who do you interview?"
So there you go. The table's been set. By the way, not to name drop, but Bill Murray, Mr. Cub, a big fan of yours, watches the show. And I asked him, who's the favorite? He said, well, start with Sutcliffe. If the questions are named the days of the week, see how far that goes, and then see if Mark Grace thinks that's trivial, and you probably won't have much of a show. Here's how it goes. Real quick, the format, it's played like a 9-inning game. First 6 innings are multiple choice. We'll try and keep score officially, and I can repeat if you have questions with multiple choice. We do have, because all the facts, we may make them sound like they're facts, but we have our researcher, statistician, he helps with the questions, Chris Antonacci, we call him Notch, sitting on his perch.
Wait, Chris,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
are you saying we're going to be fact-checked?
Yes,
we
I'm
can't
sorry,
lie?
that's part. You can't lie. No,
Well,
not
that's
on
all.
this show.
What do you expect? You've got Mark Grace and Rick Sutcliffe on here,
Hey.
and you're going to tell us that we can't lie?
Hey, and Chris, these are the
Yes.
answers you sent me earlier today, right? These are
All
the
right,
ones.
okay.
Yeah.
We're going to start with Mark, and the topic, Rookie of the Year Award. That's the topic. So, Mark, you finished second for the NL Rookie of the Year Award in 1988. Which former All-Star won the award that year? A, Ron Gant, B, Chris Sabo, C, Roberto Alomar, or D, Greg Jeffries?
I was
Know that
robbed.
one?
I was robbed. I was
Oh,
robbed
boy.
by a guy named Chris Sabo of the Cincinnati Reds.
And that is correct. 11 first place votes, 4 more than you had. So and don't Sutcliffe wasn't
Sut
voting,
was more
nor
upset
was
about
I.
that than I was that year.
All right, so let's go to Rick. I don't know about that.
I
Rick,
was
you won
upset
the
that it took the Cubs so long to get you to the big leagues. We needed you.
Rick, for you won Rookie of the Year, NL Rookie of the Year Award 79. Who finished second to you? A, Scott Thompson, B, John Thompson, C, Jeffrey Leonard, or D, John Castino? Who finished second?
I'm going to say, I know it was either Leonard or Thompson. I'm going to say Scott Thompson.
Oh, incorrect. It was Jeffrey Leonard. 3 first place votes. You had 20. Scott Thompson
Hackman.
did get a vote in that. So, Mark, let's go back. It's a 1-0 lead.
All right.
Category is your career accolades. You said you're the biggest fan of you, so this should be no problem, Mark.
I'm a big Mark Grace fan.
You led the entire decade of the 90s in hits and doubles. Which former Cubs player had the second most hits in the 90s? A, Rafael Palmeiro, B, Luis Gonzalez, C, Lance Johnson, or D, Fred McGriff?
That would have been Rafael Palmeiro.
Ah, very good. That was kind of an easy one, right, for the amount of years he had in. All right, so he takes a 2-0 lead. Rick, we'll come back to you. And you won the NL Cy Young Award in 1984. Who won the AL Cy Young Award that same season? Was it A, Dan Quisenberry, B, Frank Viola, C, Jack Morris, or D, Willie Hernandez? Same season in 84.
I'm going to go with the Tigers' Willie Hernandez.
That is correct. You're on the board. He got 3 more than Quisenberry, but Cy Young Award, very impressive, and impressive in the game. See, he's not going to let you run away with this, Gracie. So we got to close the game now. The category is your broadcasting careers. Rick Sutcliffe here, your opponent. He likes to say this line during an interview. I normally don't like to interview someone who is blank, and you can fill out the answer. A, cooler than me, B, funnier than me, C, better looking than me, or D, taller than me.
Yeah, I think, yes, that gave this one away a little bit earlier.
He gave it away.
But I think the answer is better looking, but...
yes. just, in other words, anybody. All right. Mike Piazza's glad he got mentioned in this show by you guys. All right, a 3-1 game. Rick, here's your chance. And again, the category broadcasting career. So your friend Mark Grace played off the classic phrase, tinker to Evers to chance, with this phrase referring to the double play combo of Sandberg to Dunston to blank. Is it A, Grace, B, Addison Street, C, the bleachers, or D, the dugout?
Well, if it went from Sandberg to Dunston, it ended up in the bleachers.
So you're going with bleachers, and that is incorrect. It was Addison Street, and I'll let you, Rick, Mark, I'll let you explain why Addison Street.
I just told the famous double play combo, tinker to Evers to chance. Well,
yes,
in the late '80s and early '90s, it was Sandberg to Dunston to Addison Street.
Yes, I mean, Dunston had that big arm, right? Is that you were kidding?
Oh. And it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't the most accurate arm either, was it, Rick?
No. The funny story about that was Dunston was drafted in front of Dwight Gooden, and after Whitey Herzog saw Dunston throw out Vince Coleman at first base from in the hole at shortstop, Whitey Herzog goes, "Now I know why he was drafted ahead of Dwight Gooden. He's got a better arm."
He did.
A very powerful
I've never
arm.
seen.
Yeah,
never in my life have I seen an arm like that, even on the mound.
Yeah, the only #1 overall pick in Cubs franchise history, Sean Dunston, and Mark Grace teases him, but that's how he is. Okay, we'll continue. We're through 3 innings. Gracie leads it by the score of 3-1. Coming up, though, the questions get tougher. Going to be worth 2 runs each. We're gonna talk Chicago royalty and pop culture. Check knowledge too about your cinematic debuts. When we continue on Play at Home Trivia, presented by Miller Lite. Thanks for being with us. Marquee Sports Network Play at Home Trivia presented by Miller Lite. Chris Myers with Mark Grace and Rick Sutcliffe. We go into the 4th inning and checking our hometown scoreboard from our home to yours. Now, Mark leads 3-1. Rick, you're disputing some of the questions. How difficult?
Well, this is a blowout. This is an absolute blowout.
No.
Well, first of all, the questions that you've given to Mark Grace are like making a layup on an 8-foot goal.
So
let's go.
So
let's go. Even these out a little bit.
These are going to be worth 2 runs. Category is postseason heroics. Okay, so Rick, who was the last pitcher that you homered off of in the 1984 NLCS? Was it A, Eric Shaw, B, Ed Whitson, C, Goose Gossage, or D, Craig Lefferts? Oh, he knows this.
That answer would be Eric Shaw.
And that is correct. 3rd inning, game 1.
And that ball's still going. I wasn't
on
the team yet. I was living in San Diego. I was going to San Diego State at the time, and obviously they're playing the Padres, so it was a big deal.
Right.
And I remember, I was kind of sort of Padre fan, and I wasn't a very big Eric Shaw fan after that game. That's for sure.
So see that, Rick? He was a Sutcliffe fan before he became a major leaguer.
I'm telling you what, if I lose trivia, Cubs trivia, to Mark Grace, a guy that didn't even graduate from San Diego State, I mean, I'm done.
Okay, I understand. All right, so Mark, you can untie this. Here's your question, worth 2. Which former Cubs player did not deliver a big hit in the 9th inning of Game 7 of the 2001 World Series? A. Tony Womack, B. Mark Grace, C. Luis Gonzalez, or D. Alfonso Soriano? Who did not?
Alfonso Soriano.
And that is correct. Why did that came so quickly?
He got a pretty well, because I happen to remember that 01. I know I got the Tony Womack. You know, Gonzo gets the accolades for driving in the game winner. I get accolades for getting on base, and then Bob Brenly made the most brilliant managerial move he ever made in his career. He pinch ran for me.
Back to Rick, the category cinematic debuts. All right, Rick, so in the film Taking Care of Business, Mark Grace hits a World Series home run off of which Hall of Fame pitcher in this movie, Taking Care of Business? Was it A. Jack Morris, B. Randy Johnson, C. Bert Blyleven, or D. Dennis Eckersley? Remember, Jim Belushi was in that movie.
This was a total guess. There's no way it would have been Randy Johnson. You can't even imagine that on a game. I'm going to say
right.
hit it off of Eck. Dennis Eckersley.
No, it was Bert Blyleven. And the Cubs beat the Angels in the film. And the lifelong. Yeah, and Belushi's, he catches the souvenir homer by Mark Grace, which is all mythical. And then the Cubs, of course, later did get a World Series. All right, so a chance for
and then he mooned me right at home plate.
A chance for Mark to add to his.
I feel like my life is spiraling downward right now. This is not going well, Chris.
I know it's embarrassing to be losing to Grace, but you'll never out of this. You'll have a chance to make up runs in the 7th and 8th.
You could go A so and so, B so and so, C.
Okay, I'll help you out here. I sent you the notes. All right, here we go. Back to Gracie. Rick Sutcliffe made his acting debut in the 2013 dramatic film Ring the Bell. Which former Cubs hero also appeared in that film? A. Sammy Sosa, B. Ben Zobrist, C. Billy Williams, or D. David Ross?
I'm going to say the manager, David Ross.
No, it was Ben Zobrist. You knew that, Rick, right?
Ben Zobrist.
Of course I did.
Trying to get in your head now. All right.
Ben Zobrist.
No, it's too late. Something never accomplished is the category. There could be a lot of these, but we'll start with Rick. Which one of the following feats, Rick, did Mark Grace never accomplish in his career? A, hit a homer at Fenway Park. B, hit a homer in the Arizona pool. C, homer in Japan. Or D, homer at the old Yankee Stadium. Which one of those did he not accomplish?
I'm going to say
for the tie.
He did not homer at Fenway.
And that is correct. He did all the things. There's another way we have a tie game. Gracie was the first to homer at the pool in Arizona, and he also you homered at Old Yankee Stadium during the 2001 World Series. So you had some big homers, even though people think
that one went in the upper deck too. That one went in the upper deck.
Okay, all right. Rick will have that edited out, I'm sure. Okay, but here we go. It's a tie game.
He knows my name.
All right, and so this one is for Mark. Which one of the following feats did Rick Sutcliffe never accomplish in a season? Most wins in the NL is A, ERA title B, 250 strikeouts C, or top 5 MVP D? Which one of those did Rick Sutcliffe not accomplish? Go ahead.
I'm going to say A. I'm going to say A. Because I know, he had an ERA title.
That's incorrect. It was the you know the answer to that, Rick?
Come on, man. I led the league in wins, and I missed the Cy Young by like 1 vote that year.
It was the 250 strikeouts. Yeah, that's what it was. He reached.
I thought certainly you had 250 or more at least a few times.
I think I only had 200 once, really. Yeah.
Yes,
Really?
yeah, just one time in an 18-year career. But so you
You
got
know,
about a lot
looking
of
back
wins.
on it, 250 is a lot of strikeouts. That's a bunch.
Well, you
But even
played
Rick
with
could
two guys
accomplish
that
that.
had 300 every year, so come on.
Playing behind
You were
Randy
spoiled.
Johnson, Kurt Schilling. You could put your and Kerry Wood was in there too. You could just put your glove on your head when those guys were pitching.
All right, but
Chris,
you still were
repeat the
pretty
score
good.
one more time, please. Chris, what's the score?
Yes. Rick Sutcliffe has battled back into a 5-5 tie here with Mark Grace. So we've completed the multiple choice. So you guys are going to really have to think. Coming up here, we're going to go into questions. We have our lightning round, our list questions. You can steal runs from the other guy. So we got a good one going with Gracie and Sutcliffe. We'll continue here. Play at home trivia presented by Miller Lite.
5-5 sounds like a third inning game where Sutcliffe pitched.
Drama building at a tie game here as we head into the seventh inning on the hometown. From our home to yours, we hope you're enjoying Play at Home Trivia presented by Miller Lite. And that's the kind of game it's been. It's 5-5. So we start with Rick Sutcliffe will get the chance here. No multiple choice. These are worth 2 runs. Now, should you not get this correct, then your opponent, in this case, Mark Grace, can answer the question correctly, and he steals a couple runs, and then he gets his own question. So here we go. Worth 2 for Rick to break the tie. Who led the 1989 Cubs team in runs batted in? Who was it?
Mark Grace.
Correct. He leads it by 2. There could be no steal. Oh, I've got a big smile there. You had to think about that one. All right, so here we go.
I knew he was going to.
Yes,
I knew he was going to say Hawk, but he got it.
That's why we thought we could trick him on that one. All right, so this is for you. You need this to tie it out, Grace. He was leading the whole way. Now you're behind. So here's the same category. And Rick Sutcliffe led the 89 Cubs pitching staff with 153 strikeouts. Who was second on that staff that year in strikeouts?
I got to go with the Hall of Famer Greg Maddux.
No, it was not. So Rick, you have a chance to answer and add to your lead. Look, he's heckling you.
Mike Bilecki.
That is correct with 147, 12 more than Greg Maddux, which was the guess. So wow,
Mr. Cotta,
like that.
Mr. Cotta.
It's a 9-5 Sutcliffe lead, but don't worry, you're never out of it, Gracie. You're never out of it. Okay.
Where did Gracie's teeth go? Where's his teeth at? Where'd that smile?
This is
Here's
humiliating.
the choice. No, but you can rally. Here you go. You get to choose the category. Then the 8th inning, which category you want? Cy Young Award winners or MVP award winners? Which category? Because Rick will get the other one. I'll go
with MVPs.
There have been 11 different players to win 3 or more MVP awards in their entire career. Name as many as you can. Ready, set, go.
Willie
MVP
Mays.
Awards or more.
Hank Aaron. Pete Rose. Ricky Henderson. Golly. Lou Brock. Willie McCovey. Billy Williams. Ernie Banks.
They don't have to be Cubs.
Let's go. How about Dale Murphy?
Think
Joe
of home
Carter.
runs. And time is up.
Babe Ruth.
We'll check with our researcher Notch, Chris Antonacci, counting. How many did he get? He missed Barry Bonds. 3.
Yeah, I missed Barry, that obviously.
Unfortunately, Mark didn't.
Mike Trout.
Barry Bonds. Yeah, Mike Trout, Yogi Berra, Joe DiMaggio, Jimmy Fox. He didn't get any.
Pujols, Miguel Cabrera.
Pujols,
Rodriguez,
Cabrera.
right? Alex?
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez, Cabrera did not do it.
Yeah, Pujols.
So I got none?
None
Yeah,
for...
none.
All right,
Willie
so
Mays.
that's
Willie
his
Mays
fault.
didn't do it.
Oh,
No, he didn't.
Could you repeat that one more time? How many did he get?
None.
None. 0.
Okay, so now, all right. So, oh boy, Sutcliffe is enjoying
Hold
this.
on.
Okay,
Hold on
so
here.
save that for the next category. Don't worry, Gracie. You'll have a chance at the walk-off question. You just may have to make up a lot of runs because now we go to your counterpart here, and he gets to, when I say go, there have been 10 different pitchers to win 3 or more Cy Young Awards in their career. Name as many as you can in 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
Greg Maddux. Scherzer. Wow. Roger Clemens. Steve Carlton. Tom Seaver. Justin Verlander.
That time is up. Notch, what do we got there?
Rick picked up 6 runs there. Roger Clemens, Steve Carlton, Greg Maddux, Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, and Tom Seaver.
Wow.
So inside of Gracie's 0.
Okay.
Hey, I'll tell you.
All right, but
Can we end this right now? I think I just got run.
No. Because here's your chance. Don't let this is a Wrigley Field kind of game, 15-5. But here we go. Before we go to break, think about this. You have your pen, your paper here. It's the walk-off question. So if you can wager your amount of runs, which I think in this case. Unless Sutcliffe wagers a lot,
it's over. It's over.
We've never had something.
As they say in the poker world, I'm all in.
Okay.
I've seen Jeopardy.
The fat lady's not singing. Maybe she's warming up. But
here's my wager right now. Okay.
He can do math. Unfortunately, Gracie, that's a problem for you in this game. So the topic is the first night game at Wrigley Field. Write down how many runs you want to wager. We know what Rick is wagering, and we'll have the dramatic conclusion.
Wait a minute, I can hear. Gracie? Can you hear Dandy Don Meredith singing now? Turn out the lights.
The party's over.
I don't even think
said it all.
He won't.
Good things must end.
Play at home trivia presented by Miller Lite. The dramatic conclusion coming up in just a moment.
I'm gonna puke.
Thanks for staying tuned. It's been a fun play at home trivia, and even though we're in the ninth here with a 15-5. Rick Sutcliffe lead over Mark Grace. The walk-off question always allows the guy behind to at least make it interesting, maybe take the lead. We asked you before the break on the topic of first night game at Wrigley Field ever, how many runs you wanted to wager. You can only wager what you have. Now, Rick, you had the big lead. You were showing just 4. If you could hold up and show us what you're actually wagering, and you too, I know you said you were all in, Gracie. So do you have those numbers written down? You can hold them up for our audience. There you go. 5 for
Chris,
Gracie.
I was motivated by looking over your shoulder, Chris.
Okay, so. Okay.
Ernie.
I like that. All right,
what?
this is gonna. You can put
I respect that.
Hey, and if I
so
beat Mark Grace, I want to soundly defeat him. That's what my plan is.
He wants to pile on. All right, the old 14 jersey with the great Ernie Banks. Okay, here we go. Here's the question. You're right.
I got an idea. Why don't we just go down to the water treatment plant and throw me into raw sewage? Why don't we just do that?
All right, here we go. Here's the question. First ever night game. Who? This is our walk-off question. Who was the Phillies player that led off the first night game at Wrigley Field with a home run? It was August 8th, 1988. But remember, it was washed away by the rain, so it didn't count. But everybody who watched and was paying attention remembers who was that first Phillies player who led off that first game at Wrigley, night game at Wrigley with the home run. If you write down the answer, if you get it correct, we might have 10 runs on the board for Gracie. We'll see what if Rick can hang on to his lead and close it out for the Play-at-Home Trivia Championship here, presented by Miller Lite. You got yours already, Rick? Are you all set? I'll tell you. Both hold them up at the same. Oh, I guess we can go Gracie first to see if he is going to close the gap. Had the early lead through the first 3 innings, but then Sutcliffe.
Are you ready? I got it.
Went past it. All right, you can hold. Rick's got his. Okay, go ahead. Hold yours up. And that is correct. Phil Bradley is correct. So you now have 10 runs on the board. You wagered all that you had. 14 wagered by Rick there. So what do you got, Rick? What's your answer for the win?
Well, I'm going to say Mike Schmidt because I want Gracie to win. But my comment would be, if you go back and watch the film, when Phil Bradley hits the home run, the greatest comment ever made at Wrigley Field to me happened right after that, when Bill Murray said, "Turn him off. Turn him off."
Turn them off! Turn the dang lights off!
Now, it was a breaking ball on the Waveland Avenue off Rick Sutcliffe. You didn't really say Mike Schmidt. Come on, Rick.
No, he
I
knows.
love Gracie.
But
I love Gracie. I want to help pull him out of that sewage plant. You know that.
for all the heckling you two did, you really are good pals. I don't know that we've anybody. That's a real sacrifice.
And Sut, you know, a lot of fans remember that, you know, Phil Bradley's home run and all that, and the rain and all that. The one thing that I remember the most was Morgana the Kissing Bandit. That's what I remember.
Of course he would remember. You see, Rick, if that was a question, he would have cleaned up. He would have won this game easily.
Look who's coming on the field. I think this is Morgana. It's Morgana. She wants to kiss Sandberg.
Oh, boy. History made.
And I was so happy.
Well, I'm happy you guys were good sports. And during these times, Marquee Sports Network and partners, including you guys, want to impact the local community. So on this episode, on behalf of you guys, Marquee Sports Network and Miller Lite, donating $500 to the Lettuce Employee Emergency Relief Fund. Lettuce owns and operates more than 60 restaurant concepts. Each episode, a different local charity receives a donation, and we appreciate their efforts and yours. So we'll just call this a draw between two pals. This will be under appeal, and there's no instant replay.
I'll concede. I know when I'm whipped. I got whipped today, so I'll concede. Son, you know I love you, buddy. And I want a rematch, and you know I love you.
No rematch, and I love you more.
Well, you guys always put on a good show, whether you were playing baseball, broadcasting, or on Marquee Sports Network, or just talking. So for Rick Sutcliffe and Mark Race, appreciate you watching at home. I'm Chris Myers, our entire crew. We hope you join us next time on Marquee Sports Network for Play at Home Trivia, presented by Miller Lite.